The Duke of Ashbourne, Lord Silas, needed a wife, not for love, and certainly not for companionship. He needed a wife because the king had decreed it. If Silas did not produce an heir or present a duchess within the month, the Ashbourne estate would be seized by the crown. There was only one problem. His wife, the Lady Evelyn, had died in a shipwreck 3 years ago. Her body was never found, but the empty casket in the family crypt was heavy enough to weigh down his soul. Silas couldn't marry again. He refused to. He loved Evelyn with a madness that frightened him. So he hatched a plan, a dangerous, treasonous plan. He would hire an actress. He found her in the slums of Covent Garden, selling violets in the mud. Her name was Mara. She was dirty, starving, and dressed in rags. But beneath the soot she had Evelyn's face. The resemblance was terrifying. The same high cheekbones, the same raven hair, the same delicate chin. Only her eyes were different. Evelyn's eyes had been bright with laughter. Mara's eyes were dull, hardened by survival. "I will pay you more gold than you can count," Silas told her in the back of his carriage. "You must only do one thing. Be her. Be Evelyn." Mara took the money. She didn't ask questions. For 3 weeks, Silas trained her. He taught her how to walk, how to pour tea, how to tilt her head when she laughed. Mara learned quickly, too quickly. Sometimes watching her across the dinner table, Silas would forget. He would almost call out to his dead wife before remembering that this was just a transaction. The night of the royal ball arrived. This was the test. If they could fool the king, the estate was safe. Mara descended the staircase in Evelyn's emerald gown. Silas felt his heart stop. She was perfect. She was a ghost come to life. "Do not speak unless spoken to," Silas warned her as they entered the palace. "And for God's sake, do not look at the king directly." The ball was a blur of lights and music. Mara played her part flawlessly. She danced, she smiled, she curtsied. The king was charmed. The estate was safe. Silas breathed a sigh of relief. He led her out to the balcony to escape the heat. "You did well," he said, handing her a glass of champagne. "The money is yours. Tomorrow you will leave." Mara looked at him. The moonlight hit her face, and for a moment the hardness in her eyes vanished. "Silas," she said. He froze. She had never used his first name. She was forbidden to. "I do not want the money," she whispered. Silas stiffened. "Do not get greedy, girl. We had a deal." Mara stepped closer. Her hand reached out, trembling, and touched the lapel of his coat. She didn't look like a street urchin anymore. She looked familiar. "Do you remember the day we met?" she asked softly. "Not in Covent Garden, but by the lake. You were reading poetry. I was hiding in the tree because I had torn my dress." Silas dropped his glass. It shattered on the stone floor. That was a memory only 2 people shared. Him and Evelyn. "Who told you that?" he hissed, gripping her wrist. "Who are you working for?" Mara didn't flinch. "You told me that if I ever got lost, I should look for the North Star, because that is where you would be waiting." Silas couldn't breathe. The world tilted on its axis. He looked at the scar on her arm, a scar he thought she had gotten from the streets. But now he looked closer. It was the same jagged line Evelyn had gotten from the shipwreck debris, or so he had imagined. "Evelyn?" he choked out. "I didn't die, Silas," she wept, the tears finally cutting through her composure. "I washed ashore in France. I hit my head. I didn't know who I was for 2 years. When I finally remembered, when I finally came home, I saw you. You looked so sad. I thought you would not want a broken wife, a wife who had lived on the streets. I thought you would be ashamed." So she had let him hire her. She had let him train her to be herself, just to be near him. Silas pulled her into his arms, burying his face in her neck. He felt the pulse of her life against his lips. She wasn't an actress. She wasn't a ghost. She was his heart, returned from the grave. "I would love you in rags," Silas sobbed, holding her tighter than he ever had. "I would love you in the mud. "You are not broken, Evelyn. You are returned." The king never knew why the Duke and Duchess left the ball early that night, but the servants at Ashbourne Manor whispered that they heard laughter coming from the master's bedroom for the first time in 3 years. The impostor was gone. The Duchess was home. It is a terrifying thought, losing the person you love and then finding them again as a stranger. Silas almost sent her away because he was too blinded by his plan to see the truth. Do you think you would recognise your soulmate if they appeared before you in rags with a different name?